السادة الحضور، معكم أخوكم سليمان السالم. اللي يحتاج منكم سماعة ترجم للمحاضرة راح تكون إن شاء الله باللغة الإنجليزية، موجود عند الإخوان ورا. بالبداية راح نقدم محاضرة إن شاء الله أساسيات تغذية الحيوان. نشكر لكم اهتمامكم وحضور المحاضرة القيمة حول تغذية الحيوانات الأليفة. يسعدنا جدا تواجدكم معنا هذه الليلة، ونتشرف بوجود الدكتورة أورشكا معنا اليوم، وهي طبيبة متخصصة في المجال البيطري، ولديها سجل حافل وجهود مميزة في مجال تغذية الحيوانات الأليفة، مع خبرة واسعة في الممارسة العملية. سوف تستعرض الدكتورة أورشكا اليوم أهم النصائح العملية حول اختيار غذاء عالي الجودة مع ضمان غذائي متوازن للحيوانات الأليفة. رحبوا معنا بالدكتورة أورشكا.
Hello and good afternoon to everybody. Thank you for a very nice introduction, although I must say that except my name, I didn't understand anything, unfortunately. As said, my name is Urška. I'm a small animal and exotic veterinarian, so I will today talk about something that I talked about with my clients on a daily basis several times. Especially now that we have a bit of baby boom in the clinic, we have a lot of puppies and kittens coming in, so this is something that all owners of new or small animals really want to know and go through, especially if they had the animal for so long that you sometimes forget what's important and what's not. Here it is. Why do we talk about proper nutrition? Proper nutrition, it's like in humans, you are what you eat. So if you don't eat properly, you will not develop properly, you will not prosper, you will not thrive. You will just survive, and you will maybe not even be the most beautiful pet you can be. It's a foundation for long and healthy life, and together with behavior and knowing the pet behavior, which will be Dr. de Graça Pereira later today, it's one of the main things to hold as a holistic veterinarian. I don't think that I'm a holistic veterinarian, but I tend to look at my pets more than just, I can give you medication and you will be better. Because sometimes you just need to arrange a bit of environmental and some change of diet, and the pets will thrive without tons and tons of pills. What are essential compounds of pet food? Everybody knows this. We need protein, we need fats, we need carbs, we need vitamins and minerals, and we need water, of course. It's one of the most essential things for our life in general, but cats especially, and we will talk about that more. But the requirements are not the same for every animal in every life stage, in every activity, every breed. I have 3 dogs at home. They're 17 years old, 6 years old, and 3 years old. And the 17-year-old doesn't need the same amount of protein, fat, maybe carbs, vitamins, and minerals as do my 3-year-old dog, who was just recently spayed, so now her actual requirement changed again. Before, she was in the reproductive stage of life, so her requirement was different to have proper maintaining of life. Now it's different. Activity. I have pets that are at home on the couch. That's their main job, is to be comfy and to feel safe and be cute. But you can have a dog that is very active. You can have a border collie that you do agility with. You can have a hunting breed that you go hunting, or even to these hunting championships. You can have a retriever that you go and you train in these hunting periods. Or you can even have a German Shepherd. They're very popular in Slovenia currently, to teach defense. These animals need different energy and nutrient requirements than my dogs who sleep on the couch all day. Also breed. Small breeds, a Yorkie or a Chihuahua, doesn't need the same amount of nutrients or calories as a huge dog that works outside. For example, a husky that works in the -15 or -20 in the snow pulling sled. So this is also a very important part of what my dog actually needs. What is my dog? Who is my dog? Or cat at the same time. Then reproduction, as mentioned, pregnant and lactating animals have completely different requirements to animals who are not in reproductive stage or are even spayed. Spaying or neutering actually decreases the calorie requirement of the animal to the point that I hear often my clients say, I don't want to castrate my pet because they will get fat. The pet doesn't get fat because we castrate it or spayed, but it gets fat because it still gets too much calories for its actual needs. And of course, medical conditions. There are medical conditions that affect what the pet can eat, and food sometimes can be a decent therapy to several conditions that we will talk about a bit later. But this is everything that we need to take in account when we talk about what does my pet need. So first and most important is protein, which we do not have life without protein, as it's basically required for every single process in our bodies or animal bodies. You cannot have healthy immune system without protein. You cannot have good reproduction without protein. You are not healthy without protein. You can last a little bit of time with low protein intake, but your body will start to degrade your muscles. And your muscles are not just the muscles that makes you run fast or pick something up. They're also in the heart, in the intestine, and basically all around your body. And they will be degraded, so the body gets the amino acids it needs for surviving, basically. So on long term, protein intake that is too low will be detrimental to the animal. We have different types of protein sources. They can be animal, that's meats, basically, or fish, or plant-based. And even plant-based, there's protein in every single plant. So even if you take broccoli or carrot, there's protein in it. Not a lot of it, but there is some. There's a lot of protein in gluten, which is a compound of several cereals. And there's protein in legumes, which are quite popular also in the diets lately, due to several allergies or intolerances to cereals in pets that we lately see, at least in my practice. Not every protein is worth the same or good enough the same, because the quality actually depends on the availability. So can I digest something that I ate? Just eating something doesn't mean that I have something taken out of that. Also the source, which is animal or plant-based. Dogs and cats are carnivorous. Cats are complete carnivorous, they're obligatory carnivorous, but the dogs are carnivore biased, so they can survive without meat and animal resources, but again, they will not thrive. Otherwise, cats, they cannot be vegan. This is something that, at least in Europe, was quite popular a few years ago, that everybody went vegan with their dogs and cats, and the cats got very, very sick. And of course, amino acid compound, which is the most important thing, especially in cats, the taurine and arginine are absolutely essential, meaning the cat cannot make it themselves. The dogs can. If they have amino acids, they can make this one, but the cat cannot. And without it, it is very important for tooth health. Teeth in cats can be very problematic. It's very important for the muscles, meaning heart especially. It's something that can also lead to the detriment of the animal. And arginine is for the function of all metabolic functions in the body. It's a precursor to many hormones, and hormones are important if we want to go forward with life, I guess. As said, it's essential for absolutely every metabolic function there is. Also, hormones some of them are protein, some of them are steroids, but without sufficient protein, the hormones will not be working properly. And protein can cause trouble in excess or scarcity. So we already talked about scarcity, not enough protein, you will not thrive, your coat would not be nice, your skin will be flaky and itchy. You will probably have trouble with digestion. You will not be healthy. If I operate for any reason, your wound will not heal as fast or as well as it would if you had enough protein. And in excess, there's two options. In healthy animals, too much protein in diet, it's not really problematic. It will just go through the kidneys and out with the urine. But if the animal, especially older animals, get some trouble with the kidney, get some trouble with the liver, this will cause trouble because it will put the organs into overrun and in the end can cause kidney failure or liver failure. So too much of a good thing can be dangerous as well. So in dogs, we have some standards I need to mention, and AFCO is one of them. It's Association of American Feed Control Organization. And the other that I will mention is WASAVA, which is the World Small Animal Veterinary Organization. But according to these American standards, minimum protein for growing dogs is 18% and 8% for maintenance. So until my dog is growing, depending on the breed, if I have, for example, a flat-coated retriever, until it's about 18 months old, he needs about 18% of protein in the diet, minimum. This is not good enough. This is the rock bottom that it needs. And after that, about 8% is enough. Given that my dog is not an agility dog, it's not a hunting dog, it's not a source and rescue dogs that are also really popular right now. But recommended by several specialists is at least 29% of protein for growth and 18 to 25% in maintenance. This again varies in between ages and life cycles and health, but this is what it should be at least for some food to, let's say, that it's sufficient. Cats are more complicated because, again, they're obligate carnivores. They cannot eat plant protein, and they need much higher percentage, at least 28 to 55. I couldn't really find some different percentages for growing cats versus the adult cats, but I would say that growing cats definitely 55 to even 60%, and then in adult cats or very old cats, 28 to 30 should be sufficient. As said, they must have animal source, taurine, arginine, essential, and can only be found in animal source. So no other source of food, of protein, actually brings out arginine and taurine for the cats. Cats are also a bit problematic because with age, they tend to develop trouble with their kidneys. It's called chronic kidney disease or chronic kidney waste. And they cannot really absorb and release the excess of protein sometimes, but at the same time, because their digestion becomes less efficient, they sometimes need a bit more protein. This is also good if you go with your cat that turned 9, quite often to your veterinarian, you check the blood. The SDMA is one of the enzymes that shows the earliest damage of the kidney, so you can actually take another food or different approach to nutrition of your cat, because you can extend their life a lot just with proper maintenance. There's no drug for chronic kidney disease. It's terminal. It can sometimes take years before it's actually terminal, but even if you can extend that by 2 or 3 years, I think every cat person would say that it's completely worth it. So for older animals, yearly vet checks or frequent vet checks are actually really required to have like healthy age. Then we go to fats. Fats are the most energy-dense nutrient there is. It's the same for us. While protein and carbs have around 4 calories per 1 gram, the fats have 9, so this is really quite high. Meaning it's an excellent fuel for growth, maintenance and repair, and also fats not just assist in transport and storage of fat-soluble vitamins, which are also essential, but they are main building blocks to our nervous system. Meaning all our nerves have these coats that are made out of fats, and without proper fats in the diet, those coats will slowly disappear, leading to dementia, Alzheimer's, among other things, or also just damage of the outside nerves, meaning that the animal is not really thriving anymore. But for cats, together with proteins, and dogs as well, but for cats even more, they're a very important source of carbohydrates because they do not need carbohydrates in their diet, and they can make glucose from fat and protein in the liver through gluconeogenesis. So if the animal needs more energy, this is excellent energy source, even though it doesn't go into any kind of trouble with other organs. For example, pancreas, we will talk about it a bit more, where animals, especially cats, are a bit iffy. Can be of animal or plant origin. Here again we have to distinguish the compound of these fats, because fatty acids that make the fats are very important in their origin. The animals need omega-3 and omega-6. Those are essential for them. The rest they can make themselves. And omega-6 we can find in plant origin. The rapeseed and sunflower oil are full of it, also the olive oil. But the omega-3 essential fatty acids, DHA and EPA, are only found in animal food or in the algae. So if you have a pet that is fed only animal origin, it's fine. But if you have more plant-based food, it needs to have at least algae for the dogs that are vegan, for example, for any kind of reason, to have the sufficient amount of omega-3 fatty acids. Fat also affects taste. If you make food and you want to sell good food, if there's very low fat content, the food will not be good. It will be like eating salad compared to eating a nice falafel with some trimmings. Fat molecules actually take and bind all the other flavors, and the animals have special taste buds in their mouth that can only taste fats, meat, and meat compounds. And with fat, it takes these molecules, it stays on the tongue for longer, it's good, it's more viscous, and the animals will definitely go to something that is more fatty versus something that is not really so high in fat. But at the same time, fats are good, we like fats, they can cause trouble, especially with dogs. Dogs are known to eat everything they can find, especially if it's good and smells nice. And a lot of fats can cause trouble, and they sometimes need to go to very low-fat diet for several weeks or even permanently if they have chronic pancreatitis, which is inflammation of the pancreas. If they have lymphangiectasia, which is a trouble with the intestine where they cannot process properly the lipids, so they stay in the intestine, making it thicker. The absorption is lower, the cat has diarrhea, or the dog, and we have trouble with that, and you have to, it really helps if you lower the fat content of the food with helping managing this condition. And also hyperlipidemia, which is sometimes not a cause, but it's caused by too much fat in the diet. Something I always see, and we call it the Monday problem after a long, nice weekend, is dogs with pancreatitis, because people are grilling outside and they're having fun, and the dogs are scavenging around looking for it. And just a funny story, I actually had a puppy of 6 months old come to me for having very distended abdomen. It was very painful. The puppy was trying to vomit but couldn't. It couldn't poop. It was feeling very lousy. And of course, the first thing was, okay, let's do the ultrasound, let's see what's happening. And we couldn't see nothing. It was completely white, so that was, oh. And we did an x-ray. I don't have a picture with me, but the puppy was full of stones in the stomach. So of course, we went straight into the surgery. We took out about 2 kilos of stones, and we showed it to the owner, and the owner was like, ooh, but this is from my garden. Like, okay, so what were you doing? Yeah, I was barbecuing, and maybe some fats were dripping on the back. So this is exactly what happened, and the dog went and ate the whole stones together with the fat. So fat really is something that affects taste, and it's important for the animals. The puppy was later fine. He's now about 4 years old, and he's still thriving. He still likes me, even though I was already doing a lot of invasive stuff in his early life. Cats, on the other hand, with pancreatitis, are not very prone to it. They usually get it from stress. Stress is something that causes a lot of problem in cats. Or with some trauma to the belly, being hit by car if the cat is an outside cat, or even some surgeries where we go very close to the pancreas can start pancreatitis. But sometimes also if they get a very fatty meal that is not their typical meal. So if you're usually feeding your pet very low-fat food and then you give him something very fatty, they will have problem. Sometimes, best of all, is just some vomiting and diarrhea. In the worst cases, is a week with me and the pancreatitis. But fortunately, as opposed to humans, pancreatitis in animals is treated quite easily, but it can be recurring. So it's nice to have an eye on them. So in dogs, by the EFCO standards, they should have at least 5.5% of fats in adults and 8.5% in the puppies, pregnant or lactating bitches, because their energy requirements are bigger. And something about fats being very energy dense is nice, that you can eat the same volume of food but getting more energy in. And this is especially if you're pregnant, if all the mothers here know that in the end of the pregnancy you cannot really eat sufficiently because you have very small space for the stomach to distend, and having higher fat content of the meal actually helps you get all the energy you need, but you're not eating high volume of food. On the other hand, if you have a very obese animal, cat or dog, lowering the amount of fat and putting more fiber in the food is very useful for the animal to feel satiated, but getting more volume with less calories inside. It's the same as humans. When we go on the diet, we eat just veggies and salads. And when we want to bulk, we eat a lot of meat and carbs and stuff like that. But this is a good trick to have in your sleeve, because most of obese pets, be it cats or dogs, are not very happy when you come home from the vet. I said that they need to lose weight, and you say, okay, you get half what you had. The animal will go absolutely mental, will be meowing and barking and scratching and everything. So you always have to go gradually, and also maybe change the food or the composition of the food. As said, too much can cause pancreatitis. With cats, the minimum is 9%, but recommended it's 20 to 40. Cats are, again, they're basically the keto animals of our kingdom, and they really can thrive on high-fat, high-protein diets without any kind of carbohydrates. And with carbs, they are a source of energy and dietary fiber. They are a very good source of energy. Most carbs are very easily digested. They're easy energy, it's quick. And also dietary fiber, like in humans, it's important for our gut health, for the satiety, for regularity, and to feeding the microbiome inside. They can be converted into glucose, but if not present in the diet, as said before, they can make glucose from protein and fat. So this is not something that is absolutely essential. In excess, they are converted into fat, just like in humans. This is a big, big problem with cats that only eat kibble, because you cannot get kibble without carbs. It will not stand. And then if you have very good kibble, the animal likes it. And if you have indoor cat who has nothing to do all day, they will eat all day because it's their pastime. And they will get very, very fat. And then they come to me for vaccination, and I'm like, oh, not good. But then this cat who will not lose weight because you feel so bad for it, and I'm a really mean doctor who said that they should not eat that much, sooner or later will get diabetes. They are very prone to diabetes. Their insulin metabolism can be very fast damaged by the over-conversion of carbs into fat in the liver. And it can also lead to fatty liver disease, which in cats is also very, very dangerous, and it can lead to detriment very fast. Unless the food that we gave our animals with carbs are simple starches, they are very difficult for digest for them, because they do not have the enzymes to break the plant cellular wall. We have it. Our animals don't have it, as dogs and cats. So we either need to put the food in the form of carbs to them that is cooked and well processed, or it has to be very finely milled, otherwise they will just go through. One of the things I always recommend my clients when they have acute diarrhea and the animals are otherwise fine, it's to cook for them. And cooking rice with some chicken and pumpkin can stop diarrhea really fast, really easily. But I always say you have to cook the rice into oblivion. So you don't recognize what you put in the pot anymore, because if you cook the rice nicely for us to eat, it will come on the other end exactly the same. And it doesn't help. So really, other than simple starches, all the carbs that we give them in form of any kind of nicely whole form, there are no use to them. This also goes for plants. I have a few clients who feed raw. More about what type of food, I will talk tomorrow. And they gave them raw fruits and veggies. Again, they cannot break the cellular plant wall, so this is just something to fill them, and it goes through. They will not get any kind of vitamin or mineral or any nutrient that is inside this fresh fruit and veggies. So if you would like to cook for your pets or you would like to feed raw, you really do have to cook this and puree it, like for babies when they first start food, for them to have anything very useful out of them. An important part of carbs is the fiber. It can be soluble, so it's energy for gut bacteria, or insoluble, meaning it's just bulking out the feces. But this is something that is also very important for regularity. Like in humans, our animals have to be regular. Otherwise, again, cats here can be very problematic. Especially indoor obese cats that are not moving a lot can get obstipatio, which is then, if not released soon, can lead to megacolon, which is basically a medical term for the colon is so full of feces that the nerve damage occurs and it doesn't move anymore. And the only thing to fix that, it's you have to go in the cat and cut the whole colon out. Otherwise, it can die. So if you have a cat that is inside, indoor, on the very low fiber diet, and it's older, this is a real possibility. So when we see cats that come often with some obstipation, first thing is what we do, it's we increase fiber. And if the cat is on dry food, we find dry food that has more fiber. If the cat has home diet, we just add some fibers that can be cooked. Psyllium husk, for example, it's quite popular in Europe right now to add. So for dogs, for growing or very active dogs, so agility dogs or any kind of other sports dogs, it should be about 20% of energy source from carbs. And most dry foods actually have 40 to 60% because the starches in the kibble or dry food actually are there for the composition. So they make this matrix to be nice and crunchy, and also makes the kibble food stable because it's solidifying it. There's no really specific requirements by the guidelines because, again, nor dogs or cats really need carbs to survive. But dogs really should have more carnivore bias in their diet, but they can thrive on omnivore diet. And I have 3 dogs that are on vegan diet because they're like allergic to anything else. They cannot have any kind of animal protein without having to need a lot of medication. But they're surviving fine. We are taking a look at them every so often, and so far they're happy. But the owners really invested a lot of time and money into making this diet appropriate for them. With cats, again, no biological necessity. And the carbs that wild cats would eat are only in the content of the stomach of the prey. So if the cat in the wild catches a mouse, it will eat completely everything. And that mousie will have a little bit of carb and fiber in its stomach, so that's something that this cat would have as a carb source. Dogs as well, in the wild, they will firstly go into the stomach area, then they will eat the liver and the inside organs because they're very rich in nutrients. And in the end, they will go to the muscle and the bones and the cartilage. The cats usually just eat the whole prey at the same time because it's small. As dogs, they can digest simple carbs, but it leads often to obesity and diabetes. And cats, in comparison to dogs, they really can only have simple starches. Even if disaccharides are in the diet, it just goes through. They don't have the enzyme to break it down and to use it. And most commercial diets for cats in dry food have about 10 to 30% of carbs. Depends on the formulation. Something that is also very important in the diets of dogs and cats is, of course, vitamins. We have two groups. They're fat-soluble or water-soluble. Fat-soluble vitamins need fat to be absorbed. That's one thing. So if you eat completely fat-free meal, you will not absorb the A, D, E, and K vitamins from your meal. But at the same time, they are stored in the body. They're stored in the liver, they're stored in the fat anywhere outside, inside the body. And they're not needed for every single meal because we have some storage of them. That's especially for vitamin D. Here in Saudi Arabia, you don't have this problem, but in Europe, in the north, we have sometimes lack of vitamin D because we don't have that much sun during the long winter months. And vitamin K is essential for clotting of the blood. So this is also something that we have to keep an eye on. But at the same time, all these vitamins can cause a lot of problems if there's in excess. There were a few years ago, I think I was still a student, I remember there was an affair in the US where dogs were getting way over the top vitamin D, and some dogs even died. So with my understanding at that point was that basically when you manufacture dry food, you add the vitamins in the end, and because the dry food has to have shelf life, you always add a bit more because they are degrading slowly. And here they really overdid it, and the animals they suffered quite a lot. But vitamin A, if we refresh the knowledge, is essential especially for vision and for immune system. Vitamin D is essential for immune system, but also for the health of bones. Vitamin D helps absorption of calcium, which is especially important in the growing animals. E, it's important for fat metabolism, and K, as said, for blood clotting. Now, the best source of these vitamins are fish and fish oils, liver, egg yolk, and dairy. They can be found also in plant sources, but in much lower quantities than animal sources. And the other group, they're water-soluble. These are the B complex, the choline, and these are not stored in the body. So if we eat, also vitamin C, I forgot it here. If we eat it too much, we will pee it out. It's not a problem. It doesn't cause trouble in excess, but it does cause trouble if we don't have enough of it. Especially B complex, it's very important for nerve health, among others, the skin and the coat as well. Choline also for nerves, and of course vitamin C for the integrity of bones and cartilage and everything that contains the protein that binds together everything, basically. As said, we need this basically daily, because if we don't get them, we don't get them. And if we get too much, we get rid of it, so it's not a problem. And of course, in the end, we have minerals. Calcium, magnesium, potassium, sodium, and chloride are very important for the homeostasis of the body in humans and in animals as well. Calcium and potassium are very important for bone health. And if we have too much protein in the diet, with the metabolism through the liver, will actually take the calcium and potassium with them, which will put more strength on the kidney than needed. So too much and too little can cause troubles in both ways. Otherwise, it's very important, especially in young animals, for the growth and development of the bones and cartilage. And then you have the magnesium, which is very important for the proper function of muscle. You need magnesium for the muscles to work properly. And sodium and chloride, and also natrium. I'm missing, no, sodium, no, it's fine, sodium and chloride, sorry, we have a different word in my language for it. They are very important for the homeostasis of the body, and in case we have a long-term vomiting or diarrhea, we can be low in any of these, and this will cause trouble. So it's not sodium and chloride make salt, basically table salt. They need it as well, not in as much as we need it, for example, but at least when I was a student, it was always said, no salt in pet food. That's dangerous, it will destroy their liver, but they still need a source of it in their food, otherwise they will go low and they will have trouble. And most of them play a very important role for the absorption of water-soluble vitamins. So it doesn't help if you have a lot of water-soluble vitamins in the food. If we don't have enough minerals, they will just go through and be wasted, basically. And then, of course, the trace minerals, which are iron and copper, which are very important for forming of red blood cells and health of blood organs. But excess can cause liver toxicity, especially some breeds are very sensitive to copper. It can stay in the liver and cause quite a lot of trouble there. Then is zinc, which is the most important for this Alaskan Malamute and Siberian Husky breeds. They tend to be very low, they have alopecia and very poor coat, but just adding zinc fixes it immediately. It's quite nice to see. And then selenium and iodine, who are very important for the whole metabolism as well, especially iodine for the production of T4, which is the thyroid hormone, which is the main hormone of the body. And then, of course, water. This is a quite common communication with my clients, is how much is too much, how much is not enough. My dog doesn't drink this much, or they drink right now too much. And for dogs, we say approximately 2.5 times weight of dry matter eaten a day. So if the dogs eat about 80 grams of kibble, for example, they need 2.5 times of grams of that of water. But it depends on the type of food that it's eaten. So if your dog is eating just dry food, they will drink much more than if you give them moist food. So if you give canned food, even less if you give raw food or home-cooked food, because those foods already contain quite a lot of water in comparison to the kibble. More on that tomorrow, but this is very important for the dogs and even more for the cats. Cats in the wild live in the desert, meaning they don't really have a nice source of clean fresh water available for them. And most of their intake of water is through the prey and through the food. And our cats, even though we have them at home and they lie on the couch and dream about being these big lions in the desert, they still act like they're the big lions in the desert, not really drinking their water. Intake of water per cat should be about 200 to 300 milliliters per day per adult cat. This is not a lot, but it's also not very little. And there is a lot of tricks, or at least we try to trick the cats to drink all the water that they need. But we will talk about this again tomorrow. For cats, it's really beneficial if they have mostly wet food, because they get a lot of water from there. And again, they are very, very fussy about drinking properly. There are many ways to convince a cat to drink more water. It's a fountain, maybe a different bowl. I don't know if Dr. de Graça Pereira will talk about it, but cats can be fussy about what kind of bowl they have. Where is this bowl? If this bowl is too high and too narrow, they will not drink because it destroys their whiskers when they do. If the bowl is plastic, it can cause trouble and acne, so again, not the best option. If the bowl is made of metal and the cat can see themselves when they go to drink, they're like, nah, I'm fine. And if the bowl is too close to their litter box, they will also not go and use it as often because they will not drink where they poop. And they're very, very complicated, but I think Gonçalo will talk about it a bit more, so I will not go fishing in his pond too much. And again, what is important when choosing food for our pets? There is no one brand or one option that will go for all the dogs or all the cats. I have 3 dogs. They have each individual requirements. I am very lucky to have food that goes with all 3 of them because it's impossible to keep them separated when they eat. But most importantly, read the label. We were talking about percentages. I will show you a bit later. But these percentages can mean something. The guaranteed analysis tells you what's inside the food that you're having in your hand. It talks about crude protein, crude fat, moisture, ash, and crude fiber. And then you also have listed all the additives, all the vitamins and minerals that might be added into that food. But this doesn't tell you the quality of actual protein or fat or something that is inside the food. So we actually need to go to the ingredients list. And when I'm choosing food or when I see some new food, I'm always going there and, oh, let's see what they have new. Maybe we can try something. I always read both together because this is the only way to get some info about the quality and actual nutrition of the food. Maybe as a story, I used to be working in a pet shop when I was a student. So I have a long history of nutrition with cats and dogs and other pets. And I cannot go buy new food that I see and it attracts me without maybe trying it on my pets. And luckily I have a lot of test subjects at home that are volunteering all the time. But yeah, always take these together. And now we have some options. So if we go here, it says, it's gone. It's not showing because of the picture. Okay. So it says 64% chicken and turkey. 18% peas, 6% pea protein, 5% chicken fat, 7% essential nutrients. Can you tell chicken and turkey what actually you have there? And is it dry or wet weight that goes inside? So if you go to feeding guidelines, calorie content, and then ingredients. Ingredients says chicken, chicken meal, turkey meal. So here you have some information about the quality of actual protein that is inside. So we have mostly animal protein that is on the first places. Then it's some plant protein, chicken fat, which is an animal fat source, which is good. And then some flavorings and potassium chloride, chlorides, and stuff like that. And the guaranteed analysis says that the crude protein, it's minimal 40%, crude fat of minimal 20%, and crude fiber of maximum 4%, with the moisture of around 10%, which is for kibble, quite classic. It's around 8 to 10% usually. And if we take a look at this would be quite a good food. I think it's for cats, yeah. That I would be open to try with my cats, no problem. Here again you have the guaranteed analysis. It just tells you how much protein. Here it's 39, fat 20%, and then fiber, and then you have listed all these extras that are inside. Or another one, it says again crude protein 9%, crude fat 6%. Can somebody know why? Because this is a big difference, and I was talking that cats need a lot of protein. Because this is dry food, and this is wet food. And when it comes to wet food, this will be different because you have about 70 to 85% of water inside, which, again, if you know what you're looking at, can tell you a lot. And also with canned food, volume-wise, the animals need much more of it to get the same nutrition compared to dry food. But more on that tomorrow. Again, here we have crude protein, 26%, crude fat. It looks pretty good, and I couldn't find the ingredient list for this one, so we don't know. Here we have turkey, turkey broth, turkey liver, peas, sweet potatoes. Again, crude protein 10%, but it's a can, so it's wet food. We have a lot of water inside. And another one here, crude protein 10%, crude fat 5%. Again, if we would turn it around, we would see that it's a wet food. And here, again, some more very low percentages usually mean it's a wet food. And a bit higher percentages means that it's dry food. But always, always check the ingredients and check the guaranteed analysis. Another thing that it's quite important, the ingredients have to be listed by the volume. So here, for example, we have lamb, chicken, chicken hearts, meaning there's the most of it, it's lamb. Then next of it is chicken, chicken hearts. And the least, it's vitamin D3. It's by law that it has to be like this, but also by European standards, we have percentages next to it. So in the European Union, it's required to say lamb 32%, chicken 20%, for example. In the US, they don't have that, so they can smuggle it a bit otherwise. And another one here, again, this is not European because I couldn't find them in English. I could find them in all the other languages. But you have beef, lamb meal, beef meal, meaning these are the main ingredients of this diet or this recipe. And again, crude protein around 26%, crude fat 15%, fiber 7%. This, for example, would be one of my choices for my senior dog because she doesn't need much more, but 26% and fat 15% for her would be perfect. And this is it from me for today. Thank you so much for your attention. I'm very open to any kind of questions if you have it. You can also just catch me somewhere during these days and ask me there, no problem. But I also, on the next slides, I have included my information. You can also send me some email. I'm very open to it. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Urška.
Thank you.
نذكر السادة الحضور اللي يحتاج أي سماعة للترجمة موجودة عند الشباب بالخلف. يسعدنا الآن تواجد أحد الخبراء العالميين في مجال تطوير الأعمال التجارية وتصميم الاستراتيجيات لمنشآت القطاع الخاص. خصصت أعمالها في قطاع تجارة التجزئة للحيوانات الأليفة. تملك سجل حافل في تقديم الاستشارات والدعم للشركات لتحقيق أقصى استفادة ممكنة من إمكانياتها ومواردها. ستشاركنا اليوم السيدة لين برؤى عملية واستراتيجيات مبتكرة تساعد من خلالها رواد الأعمال على زيادة الإيرادات وتحسين العمليات بكفاءة. نرجو منكم الترحيب بالسيدة لين.
You didn't want to try my last name? Thank you. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Is it on? Oh, there we go. How are you? I just asked the gentleman if he didn't want to try my last name, which is Switanowski. It's very much. It's a lot. It's a very lot. I have my phone. I'm not going to make a phone call. I set the alarm so that I would know when to stop talking. So, I am very happy to be here. Can you all hear me? Is the translation good? We're going to see if my sense of humor will translate. So, different hair, but same me. I'm going to stand over here for now because there's a lot of things over here that you'll see. My name, as I said, this is my WhatsApp. So if you want to get in touch with me, I thought that was the easiest thing to do. But my company is Pet Retail Helper. And as we like to say, we help pet businesses profit and prosper. So we're going to do a couple of sessions today and one tomorrow. And I'm going to ask you a favor. If you can come to the second session, we're going to talk all about premium products and getting them in. Today, you're all here because we're going to talk about how to make more money, drive some more revenue. Does that sound good? You want to make some more money? Okay. I see some people from yesterday here in the desert. I'm glad you made it home last night. Whew. I was worried about you all. We're going to talk, so I'm going to ask you, some of you, you've been at the show, you might have worked today. But I'm going to ask you to be in a little different space for now. We're going to talk about you and your businesses. How many of you own your businesses here in the room? You're the owners. You're the manager? Okay. So the customers that come into your store, okay? Or some of you might be on the sales team for pet products, the customers that you sell to. What we're seeing here in Saudi Arabia, and also you should know, I do a lot of talking around the world, in the United States and in Canada, in Europe, all customers changing. Very different than it used to be. I used to walk into your store, maybe say hello, shake your hand, right? See you. And now, some of you here have an e-commerce only business. You never see your customers. So somewhere between all of this, there's one thing in common, and that's the customer. And the key is to know who your customer is. Matt and I, who's also another speaker here, went to 3 pet stores today. And one of them was very traditional. So it was well stocked with merchandise, small storefront. And then another one was a bit more open, more modern, wide aisles, bright neon colors. And those are 2 different types of stores. And some of you own one or the other. But the key is, who are you trying to target, right? So when you think about who is your customer, and do you ask yourselves, other than somebody walking in off the street, what do you know about your customers? Do you know that they have a cat? You know they have 3 cats. You know they have 5 cats, they have a dog. They have a bird, maybe. But you can also, right, what Urška was talking about is what you feed them. So do you know what kind of diet they feed their pet, right? By the kind of food they buy. How they feel about their pets. We're going to talk about a trend, and I'm sure Gonçalo will, in the pet industry, is called the humanization of pets. Meaning, I'm a family, I don't have kids, so my dog, my cat, is my child. I take care of it, I feed it good food, I give it clothing, maybe I dress it up, I give it toys, I give it expensive premium food, raw diet, kibble, I give it toys. I take it out for a walk, my cat on a leash. I take it on a plane, so I carry it in my backpack. All of these things that it sits on the couch with me, but also comes with me in life. I noticed in Riyadh there are dog cafes now. That's a very big deal in the US as well, taking your pets to places, bars, restaurants, parks. So who is your customer? How do they feel about their pet? And then therefore, as a business owner, how do you talk to your customers? So how do you do marketing? If you know what your customer, the word preference, what your customer likes, what kind of food and diet they want, how much they will spend, right? Versus every day, how do they shop? Those of you that have customers that come in a front door are different than those customers who buy only online and have food delivered or pet products delivered. So knowing who your customer is, how much they spend, how they feel about their pet is going to be really, really important for your business, not just today, but down the road, because the world has changed. The pet business and where people can buy pet products has changed. Much more competition, right, for all of you. So knowing about your customer will help you understand what to buy for them, what to sell to them, and how to communicate with them via your marketing. Does any of you here have social media? A Instagram page, a TikTok page, a WhatsApp, or a LinkedIn page for your stores, right? How you communicate, Facebook, how you communicate with your customers about the products you carry, about how they feel about their pets. That's the kind of information that we want to get and share with them. Well, let me turn this back on, okay? let's talk about who customers are. This is a very important understanding to making money. So, do you have a customer? I call them the wanderer. This is the wanderer. They'll come in, they'll go here, they go here, and when you ask if they want help, no, I'm fine, right? I don't need help. So that is, I'm just looking, right? The other one is coming in to look at your store because then they want to go buy online. They just want to understand what's out there, and then maybe they want to go online. We call those the showroomers, right? All the time and energy you spent putting things on the shelf, and they might come in and just look. So we need to figure out how to stop that from happening, right? And then the third one is the educator. And I would say this to you, not about the stores I saw today, but when customer walks into your store, brand new customer, how do you educate them on the products that you sell? Do you have signs, next to the products that talk about how to sell them? What might be, I call the features and benefits of them? Do you have a QR code, right? Technology, do you use technology in your stores to communicate? Because the educated customer wants all the information. And since they're walking into your store or shopping on your e-commerce site, you need to be the person that gives them that information. Does that make sense? So, do you recognize these customers that come to your stores? Does anybody have the showroomer that comes in and wants, that's the one that's probably the problem, right? They come in and then they go buy elsewhere. Well, we're going to try and give you some ways to keep them in the store, because that's what you need to do. They want convenience. The showroomer thinks that convenience is ordering online and having it delivered, which might be true. But here's the question. For those of you that have a brick and mortar store, how many of you have delivery? How many of you have buy online, pick up in store? And how often do you tell that to your customers? Many people say, I do delivery. Great. But now you have to tell people that you do delivery. You have to tell them on your Instagram page. You have to tell them on your Facebook. You have to put a sign in the store that says, we deliver. So you have to tell people that you have all these things that they want. So another way, right, we're talking about increasing your revenue. You need to know who your customer is. You need to know how to get them to buy from you and how to get them to buy more from you. You need to know, right, who they are. And then, where are the products? You're here at a show, right? You're seeing brands, important brands. You buy these brands at this show, right? So Pet Products is shopping the globe, looking at the trends and trying to bring you all the products. So in essence, pay attention to the catalog. What are they bringing in that's new? Like Urška was talking about, how do nutrients flow, right? New products, new foods. There's new brands introduced at this show, right? Those are a trend, the holistic brand food, right? The natural products foods. So understanding the market trends, both paying attention, some of you who are salespeople for Pet Products, like what can you share with your customers? What do you know about the market here in Saudi and around the world that you can share with your customers to teach them, right? Find customers, same thing, I'm telling you, come to this session, you come and you hear Gonçalo, you hear Urška, listen to us tell you that the market is changing. People have different preferences, right? You have to pay attention to what the next thing is. That is how you're going to increase your revenue, right? Everything that I'm talking to in this session about today will help you do more business, will help you meet more customers and do more sales, right? Which is what you want to do. So you need to look for trends. I just pulled out this in the stores. Pet wearables, right, is a very new, exceedingly large growing market, right? Again, humanization of pets in the US, and they might be here too, I apologize, but many people have cameras in their house to watch their pets during the day, right? To say hello, to wave to their pet during the day, with a microphone, to use their voice. Hi. My dog's name, I have a dog, his name is Cooper. I absolutely would go through my computer to say hello to Cooper, I promise you. Hi, Cooper. I FaceTimed my husband last night. I'm like, hi, Cooper, do you miss me? He didn't miss me, but it's a growing trend. So, what else? This is one thing that I hope you understand is the biggest difference. So there's e-commerce businesses in the room, and when you have an online-only business, you are very aware that the data, the information that you get, how people search for your business, what they buy, how often they buy, is critical to business success. Many, many times, independent pet stores, what I call brick and mortar, right? A storefront location, does not use the data the same way. And I can only urge you, you must use the data. What are you selling? How much are you selling? How many units do you have on the shelves, right? How often do you need to replenish? How much is the customer spending every time they come in? That is a critical piece of information to help you grow your revenue. Let's just use a number. The average bill at checkout last year, 2024, in your store, $35. Let's just use that. If you said, I'm going to do the same number of customer transactions, but I'm going to goal to sell $2 more, right? 10 more reals per transaction, you will grow your business. But you need to know what that number is. You need to understand with the data how much people are spending, how often are they coming in, how many units per transaction, not just dollars per transaction, but units. What price points of products are selling, right? What are my best sellers? I do a lot of talking and do a lot of inventory planning for pet stores. And we have what I would call the top 50 list. So if you have a POS system, if you have a retail system that could run a report that tells you your top 50 items in units and dollars that sell, and all you did was know what those were, how many you sell for each month, how many you sell for the year, and you make sure that you are on trend to sell that. That's using the data. Do you all know what your bestseller items are just by thinking, or do you use the data to tell you that? That is absolutely, the data will tell you the story on how you can help grow your business. So if you talk about, your merchandising data, if you talk about your shelves, right? Every shelf has a units on the shelf. You fill it in. Do you need more of it because you run out? Or do you need less because you're not selling it as fast, right? So, the other data is, what does the store look like? Where do you put merchandise? That also, by using that data to see what you sell, something in the back that's a bestseller means people find it in the back. Should you move it to the front to sell even more? Okay? So using your data, understanding that means who your customer is, how often they're shopping, how much they spend. Then once they walk in, how many times a month, year are they coming in? And also, where do they go in the store? You can look by your sales, you can follow the path of how they shop. So you can use the data to make more money. Every piece of your business has data. I would imagine, I don't want to speak out of turn, but for those of you that are the reps for sales for pet products, you know how much they bought the last year. This is something that you could also share them. We are behind. What can we do? Let's move it up front. Let's do marketing. Let's do promotion. How do we get business going again? How do we sell more? Because it's a bestseller. So that's where the data can help you make more money. Okay? Another way to use data, right? So if you look at, these are all the different pieces that you can get data from. So you can understand what to buy, demand and sales forecasting, right? Pricing. What should you be at in terms of pricing? Some of you have bagged treats. You know, in North America, we have a huge open treat, raw treat business. People make a lot of money in that area. So price optimization, knowing what your competition. The stores in some cases here are very close together, right? So understanding pricing as it relates to making money. We talked about market trends, right? Short risk and fraud, that would be somebody stealing from your store. Might not happen, but it's something to think about. Marketing. This isn't a marketing, but I would promise you, paying attention to the data that comes out of the marketing you do. Your Facebook feed, your Instagram, how many people look at these posts? How many people like, comment on them? What kind of content do your customers like to see? Do they like to see videos of pets? Do they like to see pictures of food? Do you know? What are the best-selling things? Right? Knowing your data can help you. Knowing your marketing data will absolutely help you drive more revenue. Because I will stand here and you can appreciate, if you put a video on your Instagram, on a TikTok, and people love it and they like it, okay, then you would do that again, right? If you knew the data and said, these are the best types of things. What is also happening that is coming, if you're not doing it yet, it will be, called social commerce. People are buying from Instagram posts. People are buying from Facebook. People are buying from TikTok. Products that are shown with a link, and people are buying from there. So knowing what kind of marketing works, what kind of products to put out there, will absolutely help you drive revenue, sales in your store. Okay? So we talk about we're talking about revenue, two types of pricing. So what kind of pricing do you put forth? And I use the word pricing as it relates to a strategy. Okay? So the first one would be premium pricing, and that is your, what you would call your premium items, your luxury items, right? But also they have you must explain them. You must tell them about the features and benefits of products, which is a very big selling tool. So whether that's, again, a selling tool in the store, a QR code, whether that's a post on social media talking about the benefits of a product, or whether it's a salesperson in your store talking about the product, right? Superior ingredients, and that is humanization of pets. People are treating their pets like valued members of the family. That feeds right into the premium products that you can sell. That is why Pet Products is going after them, right? And bringing those for you to sell. Because people want to feel good about the products they give to their pet, the foods that they give to the pet, the treats. So that's at a specialized services premium pricing. The other type of pricing that you can do is what's called penetration pricing. So you want to be the low-cost provider in your area, on your street, in your town, in your city, and the choice that you make is, I'm going to guarantee that I have the lowest price, and that's to get business away from other people. That's called penetration pricing. And by selling enough of something, you will make more money. Okay? So one of the two, or a combination. At any time in your store, you could have certain products at both price strategies. Penetration or premium pricing. Okay? So again, making more money. I skipped ahead, but I knew it was coming, right? Talking about social media, right? So do you use your platforms? How many of you for your businesses posted on some social media site today? Uh-oh. There you go. Look at the woman in the back. I did. How many? 2 times? 1 time. 1 time per day? Okay. How about you? 1 time per day? Okay, so at least you're there. For the rest of you, maybe you're shy and didn't raise your hands, but everybody in the world, people are on social media for somewhere between the average 2 to 3 hours a day. So for your business to not be there every day, you're missing a chance to do more business, to do more sales, to do more revenue. So go to social media, be there, and again, choose which one or a couple. You can post on Instagram and Facebook at the same time. You can make a TikTok video and put it on your Instagram page and put it on your Facebook page at almost the same time. Okay? And you want to talk about what customers want to hear about. So when I was talking to you about knowing your customer, did you post just a picture, can I ask, a picture of a product, or did you post a video of a cat doing something? A video? Video of a product. Okay, so that is one way. So I'm promoting products that I sell. I asked about video or picture because video content is very, very good. Much better than pictures. And you use 50, so in North America, when I give this lecture, and you'll hear from Matt who's talking, probably 90% video is what we use. So very different, right? But again, being there every day will help your business make more money. That's the key, right? So what do you want to talk about? Products is one thing. Customer reviews. How many of you ask your customers to write a review? To say, do customers talk about your stores? Do you ask them to share if they had a good experience? That's a great way to drive more revenue. We'll talk about that. Because people saying that you were helpful, that you had good products, that you knew what you were talking about, that you were convenient, right? That you had delivery, that the salespeople were friendly and knowledgeable. That's the kind of information you want to make sure to post with your social media. Again, I'm not asking you to do this to keep busy. The title of the session is about driving revenue and connecting with your customers and not just relying. I can't stress enough. You have a front door. That's great. But many, many customers are choosing to go another route that don't necessarily want to go in a front door all the time. So we have to do these things to connect with them where they are. So you may not personally use social media. That's okay. Call me. We'll have a conversation on WhatsApp. But for your customers who want convenience, who are using social media in their lives every day, who are shopping, it's called social commerce, who are shopping on social media. What I'm trying to do is tell you for your business, not maybe today, but probably some today, these young people that are here, there's a young element here. They're using these technology to do things, to live, to buy things, right? So it's really important. You can ask your questions. You can share pictures. A great thing that many people, you could run a contest. Share a picture of your pet. Share a picture of your cat. How many cats do you have? You can be fun with it. Have fun contests, right? And lots of video content we're talking about. So if you want to take a picture of this, I'm happy to share this presentation, but these are the do's and the don'ts. I'll just tell you, you take a picture, get it translated, but you can save that. Lots of easy things to do. Be fun, be funny, be social in social media, right? Post regularly. Here you go. Let me go right here. Right here. I like Urška. Post regularly. Okay. Again, marketing. We could spend 5 hours talking about marketing. That's how so important it is. But when you're talking to your customers, right? Personalized. So, do you know 60, 70% or 80% of your customers have cats? So you know they have cats. Then there's customers that have birds, right? That have dogs, that have fish, right? You should send an email to each of those people differently. Dear Lynn, we know you buy cat products from us. Dear Lynn, we know you have a dog. But if you send me, I have a dog. So if you send me, Dear Lynn, here's some cat products for you, that's not personal, right? That's not good, because that means you don't know me. But if you send me a note that says, Dear Lynn, we have brand new pet food in our store. Come see the Origin, the Acana, the new premium products we have. We think you'll like it. That's talking to me. So that's what I mean by personalized marketing. You have cat food in the store. You have cat owners that have hairball problems. You have cat owners that want specialized diets. You want canned food. You know that they like this Kit Kat brand of cat food. You can talk to customers very personally. Send an email, right? Send them social media. Talk to them very personally, right? Direct mail. Text marketing. You can do texting and talk to them and offer them information about specific things. Okay? And then influencers. Do you know what the word influencer means? Somebody talking about your brand? It is I'm old, so I will say, I have been doing this a while. Back in the day, we used to call it PR. When somebody else talked about your business, it was much better than, so I'm a pet consultant. But if I stand up here and tell you that I'm very good at my job, that might sound like I'm bragging. However, if one of you hired me and said, oh, she's very good, right? That would be different. That's what an influencer can do for your pet business. And the new term, let me show you this. Oops, not this one, sorry. Let me go back. Is what they would call a micro-influencer. So somebody, if you live in Riyadh, somebody who owns pets, who has a following in your neighborhood would be a micro-influencer. They would talk about your store, they would talk about an experience they had, and they could help your store do more business. So that's another way to help drive revenue. Focus on your customer. Who are they? What do they buy? And then use that information to talk to them, right? So they buy a specific brand of dry cat food from you. They buy a specific brand of wet cat food. You create a marketing email or text that says, there is a new flavor in this brand. We know you like this brand. Come try it. That's a personalized approach to them. To the customer, that says, you know me. You understand what I want to buy from you. And that's very, very powerful and will help you do money, make more money. Subscription services. Does anybody here have that? Something that if you buy on a regular basis, you buy every month, you buy every week, you get your customers loyal by creating a program to get them to buy every week, every month. And when they do, you're on the program, and I, as the store, will send it to you. So your cat uses 20 cans of cat food a month. You sign up, and I will send you those 20 cans. I will call you, I will text you, I will say, it's time, I'm going to make the delivery, and they say, yes, that's perfect, send it. That creates a customer loyalty. Every month they come in and they subscribe to the program. It's very, very effective at creating the word recurring, again and again, revenue. Somebody, you shook your head in the back. Do you have a subscription program? You do. For what kind? For food? So whenever they buy. So that's another way. So that is spend money at my store and get, right? So you might get an exclusive discount. You might get exclusive products. You might get free shipping. You might get a bonus you'll get an extra credit of $20 or something, or at the end of the year. But mostly from the revenue perspective, it keeps people coming back. Okay? So, also talking about making more money. Personally, I see many, many people here with a cell phone, right? Can't have life without a cell phone today. Use it for everything, right? But for your business, do you use text marketing programs? Do you use software, POS software? Do you have what they call a CRM, a customer relationship management database, where you can keep information about your customers? Do you have an inventory program to help keep you track of what is inventory? Do you have an accounting program? Do you have a human resources or a payroll program? There are so many different ways and tools that you can use technology and software to improve the efficiency of your business in 2025. And I would urge you to try and implement these things, because it will save you money in the long run. Yes, it will cost you, but it will save you money. From a customer perspective, does anybody here have an app, a mobile app for their business specifically? Yes? Same. It's the same woman in the back. They have everything back there. Good for you. Good for you. Okay? But a mobile app, I don't mean I don't know you, but obviously you're moving your business forward. But why it's important to understand is that a mobile app is in your customer's phone. You are top of mind for that customer all the time, right? My clients in the U.S., a grooming salon. They have a retail store and a grooming salon, and they have an app that they will text and say, "I'm here. Please come outside and pick up my dog, my cat, for grooming," so that it's convenient, right? I pull up in my car, somebody runs out and gets back. When my cat or dog is done grooming, they take a picture and send it through the app. Your animal's ready to go, come pick it up. When I want to sell you food, or you're on a subscription, they send a mobile app, a text. It's time to deliver food. So just something, they're not as expensive as you would think. An online chat bot is another thing. Again, technology for your business is important, right? It will help move it forward. It will also save you money, and that's the key, right? Not just save you money, but it will help you earn more money. Okay? I just want to talk for a few minutes. Again, you've heard me talk before about your customer and how important it is. The younger demographic that is here in Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh, in the city that we're living in, how many young people under the age of 35 and 40, right? It is not about a transaction, meaning go into a store and make a sale. They want a relationship with you, but they want it differently. They want it online. They want it via text. Your job is to give them a relationship how they want it. So if I could urge you, for those who has been in their pet business for more than 20 years? Who has owned their business more than 20? No? Yes, well, Jennifer, me too. Me too, I'm old. How about 10 years? 10 years? Okay. So even in 10 years, it's changed a lot, right? The people walking in, the people buying. So key is to getting them to buy more from you, to spend more money with you, to keep them loyal, and to talk to them how they want to be talked to, where they want to be talked to. Again, you don't have to use social media, but your customers are, right? How do you make it easier to help your customer? This is the expression, serve them, customer service, don't sell to them. Make it that you educate. You know everything about the products in your store. And you can teach customers about those products. That's serving, not selling. You can help solve a problem, not a veterinary problem like Urška, but my dog isn't eating. My dog has diarrhea. My cat has a hairball. What kind of product do I need? I have a brand new cat. What products do I need for a brand new cat? I've never had this kind of cat. Or, and give me all the products that I need to start having a cat. That's serving, not selling, right? Be the voice and the face of your customer, right? And again, be there, what I call continuously. That is the new version of customer service. The expectation is that customers will come back again and again. But the key is that you have to create that. You have to give them ways to want to come back, reasons to want to come back, right? Your customer service tool, okay? I say social media. We're talking about posts. We're talking about, right, products that you were saying you were doing. How do you use customer service in your social media? Your order is ready. It's time for your subscription box. Our store will be closing early or opening late today. There was a problem. Or we just had 1,000 followers on, Instagram. We're part of the community. We're celebrating this activity. It's a holiday, right? We are celebrating. Might be asking questions. But there's a lot you can communicate to your customers, right? This is a customer reward program. So it's about talking to your customers, messaging your customers. That's the way to stay close to them. And that's what I have. All right? This is me. If we can help you, let me just say this. I understand that a lot of what I talked about today, some of you clearly are doing, and some of you, they're new concepts. But the whole purpose, if you will, not just driving revenue, but is getting closer to your customers. I was talking to Muhammad earlier, and the people that are getting closer to their customers, that understand what they want, how they want to shop. For those of you personally, do any of you shop online personally? Order things, right, through? So sometimes when I have this conversation with retailers, and they're like, I love shopping online. It's the greatest. I'm so busy, I don't have time, right? I just want to shop online and it will be delivered. Now, let's talk about your business. You have the same people who want to buy from you. They are busy. They have many things to do. There's traffic here all the time. They might not get to you on time, right? How do you make it convenient to shop at your pet business in a way that your customers want that? And that's the real key here. I think I have saved time. I'm not going to run over for Gonçalo here. But like Urška, I will be here today. We're doing another session a little bit later. And then if you see me around and want to ask me questions, I would love to help you. All right? Thank you. That's for you, sir. You're welcome. Oh, there's a break now. Oh, wait, let me tell them. There's a break now, apparently. That's all good. Food? Drink, I think.
السادة الحضور، نرحب بكم مجددا في هذه الجلسة والتي سنتعمق من خلالها في عالم القطط ونعرف أكثر عن
Can you
سلوكها
make
وطباعها.
me a sign
نتشرف بوجود
on
الدكتور
35
Gonçalo معنا هذه
minutes
الليلة،
after I
حيث
start?
يملك الدكتور خبرة
35,
واسعة في
in
سلوك
order that I know
الحيوان
that I
ويعتبر
still
أحد
have
أبرز
10
الخبراء
minutes.
المرموقين في
35.
مجال تحليل سلوك القطط،
35.
وله مساهمات مثرية
35
في هذا المجال
and then
من خلال الدراسات
when
والأبحاث
time is
المنشورة
gone.
في علم سلوك الحيوان
35,
والرفاهية.
45.
دعونا
Is
نرحب
that fine?
بالدكتور غونسالو.
Hello. Salam alaikum. Okay, and that's all. I'm so sorry. I'm so happy to be here. You cannot imagine. It's my first time here, and even so, I'm already in love by your country, your people, your culture. So thank you very much for having me here. It's really a pleasure and an honor. So I was invited to come to speak about cats' behavior. I love to speak about cats. First of all, the majority of people, we don't know enough about them. Even in scientific level, we don't know enough about cats. With dogs, we have lots of myths and mistakes, but with cats, we have lack of knowledge. So it's very, very, very good to be here and sharing experiences and sharing everything that you think and the differences from what I'm bringing, okay? So, preventing behavior problems is so important as vaccinating animals. When we're speaking about prevention of behavior problems, it's so important as preventing any other health issues. First of all, mental issues exist, and in this specific case, we know that, for instance, we are having in all over the world issues like relinquishment, euthanasia of cats and dogs, because we are not preventing all these diseases. So we need to understand cats if we want to give them a better quality of life. If we want to care for cats, we need to understand them, and this is a priority. We need to think as a cat. Usually, what I say to my clients, what I say to my caregivers, to colleagues, we need to think as a cat. It's the only way we can go and give them quality of life is thinking like a cat. And it comes that we need to understand that cats are only one of a very big family. We have more than 27 different cats, and we are just speaking today about our domestic cats. They are spread all over the world, and in terms of their ancestrals, we are speaking about, as Urška already mentioned, their ancestrals were cats, small hunters that we call Felis libica, and in fact they were small hunters that we could find in the North deserts from Africa and Asia. They are shy, they are territorial, and they are solitary hunters. And this is something very important, and it makes a huge difference from cats to other species. And not all cats, we are just speaking about these cats. Because there are other cats. If we see lions hunting, they hunt in group, which is something for their society is different from our domestic cats. Okay? So, what else we know? We know that despite the domestication has started many years ago, we know that they have so much in common. So these are the wild ancestral, and this is our cat. They have so much in common that there are even some authors that say that cats' domestication is not even yet concluded. So we still under domestication of cats. So we can we can compare a lot wild cats with our domestic cats living in our houses, okay? According to our knowledge, we know that Egypt was probably the first civilization starting having cats living with people, okay? This is what we know, but recently, a couple of years ago, it was also founded some people that were buried with cats close nearby. There is a huge discussion. This was found in Cyprus, and it was much before the Egyptian civilization. And in fact, by the way that the cat is buried, there is a belief that the cat was a member of this family as well. Okay, so we are moving, and Lynn also mentioned that we are seeing changes in the market, and in fact, cats, and in some societies also dogs, are members of the family, and they have lots of in common with us, okay? In terms of domestication, we know that Romans, they spread cats all over Europe, and in fact, around the 10th century, we could find cats all over Europe and Asia, and they were very important to control rats. Of course, when came the period where, due to some beliefs, the witches went to the fire, the cats went to the fire as well. And every time that human beings we touch in the ecosystem, we make disasters. And what happened at that time when we sent witches to the fire together with their cats? We killed cats, we create in the ecosystem an availability of food for rats. There was an increase of rats population, and then we have all the pests, all the black pests, everything killing human beings. Okay, so what we also know, and this is very important for us to understand a very important difference between our cats and other wild cats, is that during the domestication, during this process, the cats that were living close by were cats that they were much more tolerant to living close to other cats. Because in reality, we are going to see that cats, they are social, but once again, they do not depend in their group. Okay? So what is a cat? So flexibility is only one of many characteristics of cats. In fact, one of the most important characteristics of cats, they are hunters. And as they are hunters, in fact, they are in the top of the food chain. Nevertheless, they are also prey species, which means that they are armed with nails, with teeth, and they will use to defend themselves. And this is something very important. I don't know if we have veterinarians in the room, or nurses, or even groomers. Sometimes they can use their arms to defend themselves, and they're going to use them every time that they feel threatened, and they have not a flight possibility. Is it working? 1, 2. Yeah, back. So, every time that they are threatened and they don't have an escape route, this can create a defensive strategy for cats to act, okay? So when they are in danger, they can escalate. Urška already mentioned that cats, they are carnivores, so I'm not going to repeat these, but I'm going to repeat the fact that they are solitary hunters, which means that in their society, they are depending on itself to get alive at the end of the day. So as a human being, I depend on my society, on my friends to get alive, to survive, while cats, they depend on itself. So cats are like social unit, independent, but I don't like to use the word independent because in fact they are not independent. They depend on each other as well for many other social reasons, okay? Cats, they are very active at dusk. And why? Because it's the exact moment when rodents, their prey that they're going to hunt, they are also active. So it's something very important. That's why during the night, if they had nothing to do during the day, they will be very active while we try to sleep. Okay, so for those that have animals, cats at home, sometimes we have difficulties to sleep. How many of you have cats at home? May I ask? Okay. Almost everyone. Okay, great. And my question here is, why did she didn't want to touch anymore in that rat? Why? Why do you think this happened? Yes. Because it's someone else's meal, could it be? But usually it is very much related with the fact that it has no movement. And something that really attracts cats is the movement, okay? So tomorrow when we will be speaking about toys, this will be very important, is the movement. And of course, if there is no movement, it has no interest, okay? But could it be also the someone else's meal? Because in fact, as we're going to see tomorrow, they do not share food with each other. So well spotted as well. Thank you so much. So as I said, they are individual social units. And for that reason, as I do need myself to get alive at the end of each day, something that is very important is that cats, they are very subtle in showing signs of pain, disease, fear. They are very subtle. And this is the reason for the veterinarians in the room, usually when we get an animal in a consultation, usually they are already in a very severe state of a disease because they were hiding all their emotions, hiding all their feelings, and in fact, when they come to the consultation, they are already in a very advanced situations of a disease, okay? They are very emotional. They learn very fast. May I ask you, from those that have cats, how many of you already trained a cat? Well done, well done, well done. Tomorrow, I'm going to show some short videos about training cats. And in fact, it's hard, but we are going to see why it's hard. Because in fact, they learn very fastly, especially with negative experiences. When you have a cat that went to the vet clinic and he had a bad experience over there, he never ever wants to be back at the clinic. Or at the grooming or at the hotel, whatever is the context, they learn. They learn and they're going to avoid being back. And they use all the efforts not to be there, okay? They are quite territorial animals. And when we're speaking about this territorial, every time that we move one cat from one territory to another one, this is a nightmare in their perspective. Because they're losing, I usually say that cats are control freaks. Okay? And in fact, if you remove their senses, if you remove their smells from their territory where they feel balance, these become a huge nightmare in their perspective. So bringing a cat to the clinic is a nightmare. Bringing a cat to a hotel, for instance, can be a nightmare as well. So it's very, very good that we start thinking in cats' perspective, and there is ways to support these cats with this territory. And the same is happening when they feel the territory invaded. And they can feel the territory invaded by other cats that they see from the window, or smells that sometimes we can bring into our houses, okay? So this is very important for us to understand as well. But they are social. They are social. They can have very close relations with individuals from the same family, from the same group. They can create relations with us as well, okay? So they are social, but they are socially different from us. When we are speaking in human perception, for instance, one thing that in the majority of cultural situations, we like interaction and physical interaction with people. So usually we greet people. In some places we hug people. We do physical contact. And every time that we see someone in a solitude moment, usually we assume that this person is not happy. Okay? Sometimes there are people that go to the cinema or having a meal all by itself because it's good for them and they are feeling happy. But if I am seeing someone alone in the cinema, I start immediately think, oh, poor him. But possibly the person is enjoying, but we bring this idea of close relation also to cats, and this starts being a huge problem because some cats, they prefer to be alone. Some cats, they prefer to be solitary. This is in their genes. This is something that it is dependent on the individual. Okay? And we need to understand these. Sometimes when we bring, oh, it's just one more cat. Okay, it can be one more cat for you. But for the other cat in the house, it can be the biggest disaster in his or her life. Okay, so it's something very important for us to consider the personality of the cat and what really matters in their life. Okay? We have different cats. We have indoor cats. We have outdoor cats, feral cats. What is the major population of cats here? Indoor? Yeah? Outdoor. So the majority of cats here go outside. So they can come also inside. Okay, so they have indoor, outdoor quality of life. This is very good. Okay, this is something interesting. And even in the city, even in Riyadh, cats go outside as well? Yeah? No, in the big city, they don't go because of cars, probably, right? Yeah? So we have, yes, please. Stray cats? Stray cats, but indoor. So in the city, okay, understood. So in the city, you can find stray cats living outdoors, and then the owned cats, they are indoor cats. Awesome. Great, great. But we need to understand that also the society of cats is something important, because when we decide to put cats together, we need to understand how they live in their natural society. And if we go to observe feral cats, usually they live in a social system that we call a matriarchal system, where you find all the female cats and the litters in the central territory, okay? And then you have clusters of isolated male cats surrounding the matriarchal system, and at heat season, the male cats come to reproduction and then gets away. Okay, and in this matriarchal system, it's something very interesting because the female, they cooperate in raising the kittens, so they work together to raise the kittens. And this is something very important because if we're going to create a good environment for cats and we want to put them living together, having females usually is the easiest way. Okay, we can have male cats, yes we can. They tend to be more solitary, but then we added something else for them to live together. And the response is that we added neutering, and when we're doing neutering, we are changing also some hormones, and we are changing also some of their behavior, especially the territorial behavior, and this is going to be very useful because it keeps all the affiliative behaviors high and decrease the agonistic behavior, which means agonistic behavior is included the aggressive behaviors between them, and usually we can have two male cats living inside the same roof when we neuter them. It's impossible to have two entire males in the same house. No, it's not impossible. We can have. In behavior, my dear friends, we can never say never or always because there's always an exception. Okay? And this is something very, very important. And what makes the colonies of cats being bigger or smaller is the territory organization. That's why tomorrow I will be speaking about territory organization because it's really very important for us to understand how can we create a territory for the cats that becomes friendly because it's everything about resources. Imagine that we were all here living all by ourselves and we are very social. But if we are kept here in captivity during 3 weeks and the food is decreasing, probably after 3 or 4 days, we will start fighting with each other. So even for human beings, toilet is important, food is important. Tomorrow we are going to tackle this, okay? So when we go and see the territory of cats, in this case, imagine that we have 3 male cats, 3 male territories. You have the circles here, and the circles that you see, we call the central or core territory. It's where the cats come to sleep. It's where the cats come and groom. They hunt in the red spots, though, so they catch the prey, and then they bring the prey into the territory, the core territory. They eat the prey over there, and they groom and they sleep. And then you have the red, the gray spots here. These are the latrines. It's where they come to pee and poo. And this is something very important because as Urška also mentioned, and we're going to speak about this tomorrow as well, they don't pee or poo where they eat, okay? It's different territories, totally different territories. And then you see the blue lines, and the blue lines are related to marking territory, and that's about communication. So, for instance, Urška and myself, we are 2 cats. If I want to leave information to Urška that this territory from this chair over here is mine, I'm going to leave here my senses, ignore my smells, my urine, in order that Urška knows that this territory has an owner. And then she would do the same in the other side to leave information for me not to invade her territory. And they respect a lot these marks, okay? So they need a territory where to eat, they need a territory where to drink, they need a territory where to sleep, and they need a territory where to eliminate. And this is something very important, and it's about communication, because they are this way is a way to communicate. Human beings, we are very visual. We depend very much in what we see. But the other animals, they are different. So they use auditory, olfactory, and visual signs, and all of them are very important. Can you guess? There is no wrong or correct answers. Well, there is a correct answer, but can you tell me which is the most important sense for cats? Yes, please. Smell? Smell? Yes? Pardon? Yeah, it's so this would be more tact. Could it be important as well? Very important as well. But in fact, smell, hearing is very important. I have several cats that suddenly attack someone in the family, and the reason was they heard another cat meowing outside. So it's very important. But smells is one of the most important ways for communication in cats. Okay, and we're going to address, and we're going to start by auditory. And usually in colonies, you don't listen cats meowing except in reproduction period. Those that have strays around, you know, they scream the whole night. Okay, so you can have this sound. You can have sounds to avoid fighting. So once again, if we are two cats and we are trying to avoid fighting, probably we will be here doing strange noises like, and we stay like these hours and hours because in fact we are communicating, and probably the lady's telling me, leave my territory, okay, and I have to behave, okay, because this is the way two cats communicate. They use and they learn to use meowing in our houses because it's a way to grab attention from humans. And in fact, we know when we arrive home and they say meow, we immediately go to the fridge, open the fridge, and give them food. So cats are training us. Cats are training us, and this is amazing. But then we have these circumstances as well. They are communicating. This is a mother and a son. They are communicating. Pardon? Yeah, and they use it because they learned. And this is something very important. When we are speaking about mother and children, there is a way to communicate, and even purring, they learn with the mother, is a way to decrease their stress as well. That's why purring can be used in pain situations, in stress situations, and pleasure moments. So a cat, when it's purring, depending on the context, can have totally different reasons, okay? So, scents and pheromones. This is something very important. Once again, they communicate by senses, by smells, but pheromones are also very important. Do you think human beings also communicate using pheromones? Yes, we do. We don't want to think that we are animals as the others, but we are. We are animals as the others. We use pheromones. I could give you a couple of examples of studies done with humans that show that we depend on pheromones for many reasons. So, but in terms of smells, and yesterday, Jennifer and myself, we were speaking about this capacity in dogs, but cats are not different. Cats are not different, and they can detect different smells in the environment, and this is something very, very important. So, for instance, when you arrive home with your backpack, and you put your backpack in the floor, your cats come there, and the first thing they do is smelling. Oh, there's a funny smell here. Where you've been? Okay, that's the first question that they do. The second thing is, okay, let's see if there are some informations here. And these informations, they are different, and these informations can be pheromones. And probably you already saw some of your cats doing these, which we call the phlegm response. So the phlegm response, the cat feels a smell, then I need to identify the informations. So I have an open next to my teeth, and I need to open my mouth and do an forced inspiration of air in order to go to an organ that is upper palate in the top. And this organ that we call vomeronasal organ has a direct connection with the brain and a specific area of the brain that is related with emotions, which means that I'm going to identify the pheromones behind, so I use this forced inspiration to identify with what is behind. How many of you already saw your cats doing this? So usually what they do, sometimes they start even rubbing, and then they stay with the mouth open. Okay, probably you all saw it before. Okay, so where do they leave pheromones? Usually they have specific glands. One of the most important are the facial marking. So one of the things that cats do is marking and leaving my facial pheromones. I'm going to leave my facial pheromones. So when the backpack arrives with the different smells, I'm going to deposit my smell, because only after getting my smell, it gets in my territory, okay? So it's a way of communication. Then they scratch. When they are scratching, they are leaving a mark, visual mark, as they live in the desert, but also they have pheromones in between their toes, and those pheromones are very important for their balance in the territory. And finally, through spraying urine, this is another way to leave a clear mark that this territory has an owner. Okay? So it's very important that we understand that, first of all, we use facial pheromones. Facial pheromones are related with group sense, group smell. So everything that we are doing is creating a group smell. And then we have the feline appeasing pheromone. And the feline appeasing pheromone is released during lactating period by the mother. Okay, the mother is releasing from her breast these specific pheromones that produce relaxation in kittens. And finally, last but not the least, is the interdigital pheromone. Very important to leave territorial marking. Okay? So, and then we have body language. And body language is very important. So if you look to these cats, once again, remember they are very subtle. If you look to the cats from your left to the right, you see that the right cat, A2B0, is becoming more reactive, while this cat on A0B2 is the most fearful cat. Okay? So this cat in the corner is the calm cat. This one in the top right is the cat that is telling, get away from my territory. And finally, 10 minutes, right? Yeah? Yeah? The other one below, below here is the one that is more fearful. Okay? Something important is that from your left to the right, what is changing basically is the ear's position. Okay? Ear's position. It's something very important, very subtle. When you come down, you have more changes, but usually, this cat here is so fearful that he's going to attack you. And many times we say, this cat is very aggressive, and in reality, this cat is very fearful. Okay, and it's very important that we look to cats in this way. Okay. Okay, it's not an aggressive cat. So ears erected, this cat is paying attention, something arrived here, so what is coming? This cat, the lateralization of the ears means that the cat is starting to have a conflict. Usually together with the ears, you start to see the tail moving. Okay, you start seeing the tail moving, which is different from the tail of dogs. Okay, this movement means I'm having a conflict. I can get away from here or not, I can attack you. So he's thinking and he's trying to understand what are their options to survive. Okay. Finally, this cat, as we've seen, this cat is in a very fearful moment and he's going to attack. If we look to the whole body, sometimes what changes is also the tail position, as I mentioned. Sometimes they decrease their size. The more fearful they are, the smaller they try to show. Okay? And here, oh, okay, that's fine here as well. You have the famous Halloween cat. Okay? The Halloween cat is a cat, if you look to his face, he's very scared. He's very fearful. Nevertheless, he's trying to show that he's bigger than in reality he is. So I give you lateralizing position, and I put myself in the position to show that I'm higher than I am, because in fact, I'm faking, and I want you to get away. But in reality, this cat is fearful. And if you look to this cat from the left to the right, the fearful intensity is increasing more and more. Of course, this last cat can bite. But he's telling clearly, give me a bit more of space. So if we look to all these positions, we have here this cat, this white cat here is telling to the other one, get away from my territory. This one is in a very defensive position. So usually we think this is a submissive position, but in fact is nothing related with submission. This cat is ready to attack because he wants to defend his life. Okay? Once again, we have here this cat. You see, he's staring the other one, and you can see by his position, by his tail, he's staring the other one. And this one back here, he's in a very fearful moment, and he's trying to find a place to get away from here. If we look to these two cats, it's a video, so I will put it on moving. But this one is the owner of the territory. The ginger cat is the owner. The other one gets in the territory. It was a mistake. Okay, so the ginger one. And you're going to see that with his body, he's telling clearly to the other one, get away from my territory. And if you look to the body position, he's going to grow. And this one, you see the tail moving here? You see, look, he's changing his position, the ginger one. Get ready. Okay. And this one, the black and white, he's just trying to find a place to get away from there. So usually he's avoiding, how can I run away from here? Okay, it's a very big tension moment, okay? Usually we have friendly behaviors, and they are very important for us to understand because they have a specific role. This friendly behavior that we call affiliative behavior, even in our society, we greet each other when we have a discussion, then we tend to appease, and this is the way that we keep the social balance normal. And what do they use as affiliative behavior? They use the nose touch, they use mutual grooming, mutual rubbing, And then there are some authors that they speak about sleeping together. For me, sleeping together is not the most important affiliative behavior, because once again, imagine that one cat is in a high position next to the heat, and I want to get there, but we are not friends, but I want this specific spot to sleep, and I would find a way to go there, even if the other cat is not my friend, okay? Nevertheless, we have situations where sleeping together, definitely they are from the same social group. And if they are sleeping like in the yin-yang position, for sure they are from the same social group. What else do we need to do? We need to see nose touches, we need to see grooming each other's, we need to see rubbing each other's, and we need to see sometimes walking together. Okay? Especially if they are from the same family, they would be walking together. Okay? So usually before a behavior consultation, I ask my caregivers to write the names of all cats in the household in a piece of paper, and I ask them to write who is grooming whom and who is rubbing in whom. And this is the way for me to identify how is this house organized, because you can have 5 cats and 5 different social groups. You can have 5 cats as here and 2 social groups. Okay? So it's very important that we understand to organize this life. Of course, this affiliative signaling can also move toward people, and of course, we are very different. We have, cats are very frequent interactors with low intensity, so usually cats don't have a tea together. So if we are 2 cats, probably Lynn is looking to me, I say, "Hi, Lynn," and Lynn say, "Hi," and that's enough as 2 cats. As human beings, we would say, "Hi, Lynn," and I come, and these are human beings, and this is a problem, because we are low interactors, and our relation with cats becomes a nightmare because we are too intensive. For instance, one thing that usually we do, we expect greeting to involve physical touch. And once again, what is happening is that as we do with children, we pick up children, and we're going to pick up cats. Okay? And then we see everyone picking up cats, including veterinarians on social media. And now going back to social media, these are informations that as veterinarians we should never pass away, because even if my cat likes to be holded, this is an incorrect information to pass to my caregivers, okay? So it's to be forbidden, okay? That's why I put things here. All these results in many discrepancies, and the social systems are very compromised in cats. And this is a huge problem that we have. It's the communication between humans and cats, and this is frequently a high-level problem to solve in households. Okay? Of course, we create relationships with them, and they develop separation-related problems as well. And of course, as we have in dogs, but dogs are more clear. Dogs, they destroy the house. Dogs, they destroy the doors when they suffer of separation anxiety. Cats are different. They suffer in silence. And this is something that if I want a take-home message for you, is that cats are subtle in the communication way, and they suffer many times in silence. So all these characteristics made cats to be the animal of the century. Even each day we have more and more cats, and I'm going to jump this video because I run out of time. And of course, the more we know about cats, the better quality of life we give them. So thank you so much. Shukran. And here you have my social media. I'm very happy to have virtual friends, but I really prefer to have real life friends. So as the other speakers, I'm very happy to receive questions. I will be here around these 2 days. I don't scratch, I don't bite. So please come to me, and we can even get in touch in social media, and that's done. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Gonçalo. أهلا بكم مجددا أعزائي الحضور. محاضرتنا الأخيرة لهذا اليوم هي بعنوان تأثير المنتجات ذات الجودة العالية على تعظيم الأرباح. وكما تعلمون جميعا أن هذا الموضوع مهم جدا لنا في قطاع الحيوانات الأليفة، وأهميته ليست محصورة فقط في الوقت الحاضر، بل هي ضرورة دائمة لأي صاحب نشاط تجاري يتطلع إلى الازدهار والاستدامة في مجال الحيوانات الأليفة. تتسم منتجات الحيوانات الأليفة ذات الجودة العالية زخما هائلا، وفهمنا لهذا الأمر بشكل واضح سوف يؤدي إلى تعظيم الأرباح وتحسين جودة حياة الحيوانات الأليفة ورضاء ملاكها. سوف تستعرض السيدة لين في هذه الجلسة آخر الاتجاهات والتوجهات في مجال منتجات الحيوانات الأليفة ذات الجودة العالية، إلى جانب الكشف عن استراتيجيات عملية لزيادة الربحية وجذب اهتمام المستهلكين. نرجو منكم الترحيب جميعا بالسيدة لين.
Thank you. He still didn't want to try my last name. Switanowski, there you go. Nice Polish girl. Hi, everybody. Is anybody as cold as me? Oh, goodness. That's why they want to keep us awake. I think that's what it is. This is very nice. Different hair, but look, we're going to talk about high impact with premium products. And I want to say this, I'm very excited because some of you, if you were at the first session, you heard me talk about building revenue and the idea of trying to help you understand more about the mindset of the customer and more about how to sell the products to those customers will help you obviously make more money. So to me, they are two presentations that really tie together, that really can help your business grow by understanding where customer, spending is. This doesn't seem to be working. Are you going to turn that? Oh, hold on. Oh, goodness me. Hold on. Got to go back. There we go. There we go. Okay. So if you didn't meet me before, by the way, I have to say, for some of you who looked at me like I was crazy when I talked about social media, I went to my WhatsApp account. Many of you said hello, so thank you. I need to be on LinkedIn and WhatsApp to talk to you. Is that it? But for your stores, we need to go on social media, Instagram and Facebook. So this is my WhatsApp. If you want to get in touch with me, I'd love to connect with you. Like Gonçalo, I'm definitely the phone person, but we live far away, so let's talk how we can. But I work with pet retailers and pet manufacturers like are here, and we talk all about how do we optimize sales, how do we drive more activity. And again, what I'm going to try and help you focus on today, you saw the launch of the new brands here at the show in the premium space, and I want to try and put you into the mind of your customer, because it is a little bit different I shouldn't say little, it's a big mindset change. Wanting premium products, you have to figure out and create programs and ways to sell those products in your stores. And so what I want to try and do is give you some tools to help you sell those products. So first of all, what I want to do is tell you something that you already know. And that is, if you look around the area, even look at this room, many Saudis, the population is younger. If I was to give this same talk to the same type of audience in North America, the average age of the audience would be 60 plus years. Retailers are very much older. But here, you have a young population who have money to spend and who very, very clearly want to, and I love this, Urška, I'm stealing this from you. I never use the green dot because it scares me, but I like it here. I feel like it's a cat toy, right? But the emergence of care as a profession due to rising pet humanization. And I heard somebody before say, that's a very good word. I know that your cats and your dogs and your customers' cats and dogs are not people, right? They have 4 legs and not 2. but how they think about those pets is what your biggest shift needs to be. It isn't when Gonçalo said that stray cats are outside, right, and your personal cats are inside. They're in your house already, so that's a personal space, right? But how you care for them, how you go to get them groomed, you know, how your customers, right, how they go to get them groomed, how they buy products for them, how they care, boarding, right, spending overnight. So this humanization of pets is a mindset. And whether you personally treat your cats or dogs or like pets, or you treat them like a human, is okay. Either way is fine for you. But what you need to understand for your business is that this humanization can help make money for you. You can sell more products to them. They care very much about their nutrition, about, you know, how they look. So understanding that the look and the feel of how you present products to them can make a big difference. And that's why it's going to be really important, an opportunity for you to do more business. That's the big one, right? Multi-households, multi-pet households, right? I'm going to try and give you some statistics along the way to show you kind of the profit impact, like how much can you make, right? If the market is projected to grow at 7% and you take a bigger piece of that share, you're going to share in that revenue increase, okay? So obviously the market is big, right? It's 140 US million expected to grow, but this might not be all of your customers, right? This is the dog cafe in Riyadh. But what I would love you to do is to think about this humanization piece with these people, right? This is at a restaurant, on a table, right? Whether or not you agree with that, but, you know, with drinks, out and about. That is the humanization piece. So what does your store look like? Does it relate to this customer that will walk in and want to spend money? Does it relate to social media? Does your social media relate to pets out in public? And is it an opportunity if it doesn't? You know, how you might be a brick and mortar, you might be a retail store and have a front door, but could you sell online to be more convenient to this customer, who, by the way, is, you know, might be shopping while they're sitting there having a cup of tea, okay? So urbanization, and this is a big deal, obviously, people living in urban centers and cities, smaller houses, hence more pets or, you know, apartments, smaller dwelling. What does that mean for products that you sell? What does that mean for them being around? Okay? So let's talk about ways to increase. And again, to get your attention, when you walk away from this, and I use the word humanization, think of this image, right? The dog at the counter buying products. Your job as retailers is to communicate that the products you sell are for this type of environment. They're high-end, right? They're very healthy foods. They are maybe technology, trackable, you know, you can track your pet. Maybe they're more expensive treats. Maybe they're luxury collars. So it's a mindset of a customer who wants to treat their pet special. And the products that you can sell them, you can charge more money because they're higher end products, they're premium. Therefore, you can drive more revenue. So it's an opportunity. It doesn't mean that all of your customers tomorrow are going to be this way. But I'm trying to introduce you to the mindset, to the what's next, to say we need to start to think about these customers. I won't ask because I'm sure that my friend will raise her hand again that talks about the programs that are in your store, right, to communicate about pets being beloved members of the family, right, and therefore treat them special with products. So I'm trying to put you into the mind of how people feel about their pets more and more. And therefore, as store owners, how do you sell to that customer, right? They want special things, specialized diets, innovative product, tech savvy. That computer, that phone person that can't be without it. Again, what are the tools you can use to sell? So let's talk about premium nutrition, right? You've heard from Urška, you've heard from Gonçalo about the types of what's in it, proteins and fats, right? All of these things, I mean, Urška was basically, I'm not going to talk about the ingredients in the foods, but that's what premium products will have in them. Higher end quality, long last, helping to reduce health issues. I have heard from many of you that there's, lack of veterinarians in the area. You teaching your customers that you have products that can keep their pets healthier. That's your message. Those premium products and how you deliver the message of keeping pets healthier, if you will, preventing health issues, is a perfect story. I care very much about my pet. My pet is Cooper is my dog, I told you before. Cooper is my child. I don't have children. So Cooper is my child, and therefore keeping Cooper, my child, my pet child, healthy is really important. Therefore, I will spend more money on his food, right? On his treats, on his veterinary care if he needs it, right? My dog, unfortunately, has had surgery. He tore his ACL. So we do these things for our pets. So as the owner of your stores, you have the opportunity to showcase the products that you sell that speak to me, consumers like me, that care very much about their pets. So that's how you can translate it, right? Pet obesity, I bring it up here just to say, you as a store owner, if you have products, and again, price point wise, they may be more expensive, but they can help solve a problem. They can help improve the life of this humanized pet. And that's the money opportunity for you. So in terms of where you want to go and what kind of things you want to think about, right? Urška, I'm feeling a little bad about the metal bowl here now. I just put a picture in, but I don't have a cat, so I'm worried now. Please don't, I'm wrong. I've got a vet picture of a cat now. But the idea is high-end food and innovative care items are an opportunity. So therefore, how do you merchandise them in your store? How do you teach both your sales team, your salespeople that work for you about these products? And then how do you teach the end consumer about them? Those are the marketing programs. Those are the things that create the, if you will, the stickiness to help you make the sale. If any of you in the room, I don't know who, if any of you work for pet products trading, but that's exactly what you'll be able to help your retailers do. You can teach them about these products. You can teach them how to sell inside the store. What are the features and benefits? Why are there high-end nutritional ingredients in here? Right? How much proteins are in here? How much, whether they're grain-free or whether they're fishes, whether they're all natural, whether they're freeze-dried. All the idea is you have tools to share with them to help them buy these products from you. So we need to get that. In terms of trends, it is because of this humanization and pets are being important, this trend for healthier food, also for dental care, also for eco-friendly products. Every category in your store, whether it's cat or dog or bird or fish, you could apply this principle to. The customer in 2025 and beyond cares about the rest of the world, right? What is sustainable? How are we leaving the world? It is an opportunity for you as a pet retailer to key in on that and to help sell additional products. So let's talk about some selling strategies. what I want you to understand is education is key. So I'm using the word selling strategies only to say that you need to provide education, maybe signage, maybe use your social media, maybe add it to your website, maybe do interactive videos, training customers about all of these benefits that you get from these premium products. It is a really important that you don't just put the products on the shelf and fingers crossed that they sell themselves. You must help to optimize. Of course you can choose to do what you want, but to make the most of the business, improving the sell-through, educating your team, creating marketing around the products, giving really good, we use the term shelf talkers, but that would be signage in the store, right? You have great signage from, the fixturing from pet products. I saw a couple stores today that they looked great. But maybe you need to add some signage. Maybe you need to add some QR codes, maybe some short videos, teaching people about the products, right? Personalized recommendations. I can't describe to you enough, it doesn't matter what country you are in, and Saudi Arabia included, because you own a pet store, because you own an e-commerce business, you are automatically perceived as experts, right? You know more than the general public. So your job is to tell people what you know. You just came to this trade show. You learned about a bunch, right? Learned about a bunch of new products here. You got introduced to some new ones. You learned why they're good. Now your job is to take that information back to maybe your employees and then to teach your customers about it. So education will help you sell these products through. You can't just put them on the shelf. Otherwise, and you know this, they will look like higher priced products that do the same thing as something else, right? You have to communicate. We use the term in the US, features and benefits. Does that make sense to you? So what does the features, meaning what does this product have in it? Ingredients, lifespan, how it helps the pets, those would be the features, right? And benefits would be, better health flow, losing weight. Okay? So, health, put them together. Maybe how you merchandise them in your location. Maybe you pull all the premium products together and create a little story that showcases how a bunch of the products that you carry will help solve needs for people. So it could be comparison. I'm giving you some ideas here, right? I use the word bundle pricing, and that is putting all these things together, right? So you say, hey, if you have a brand new pet, buy a litter box, buy food, buy, cat litter, toys, and you could put all those together and tell a story. That's called a bundle. I'll make it, as a retailer, you say, we will make it simple. Here are all the products that you need for if you have a new cat, if you have a new dog, or a new bird, right? The new package together. Small pet, same thing, fish, right? But mostly the words that you see here, right? Health guarantee, programs that build trust. What I'm trying to get you to say is, you walk away from this, know you are the experts, your job is to build trust by what you say to your customers. That's how you're going to sell these products. Okay? Other ways of being what they call loyal, creating your customers that are loyal, coming back. Do any of you have, I'm afraid to ask, I'm afraid who's going to raise their hand. Anybody have a loyalty program? You have a loyalty program? Good for you. So it is buy X amount of dollars and you get money. So there are some other things that you could do. So these are just some ways to think about, right? If you have a physical location, but you have the ability to ship. If you buy our club, you could be a member and get free shipping. You could also have a birthday gift for the cat, for the dog, right? 2 points on Tuesdays, right? Get extra credit when you shop on Tuesdays. Everything that you do is ways to bring them back more and more. And if you look here, right, 1, 2, 3, you could call this, you know, platinum, gold, silver. What level you are, how much money you spend at my store gives you benefits. So instead of going here for one thing, going here for another, now your customers, if you have a loyalty program, will shop with you because they're getting perks, they're getting benefits, they're getting money back, they're getting, you know, points, money, free products. The other thing they're getting is access to events, activities. VIP, that word, VIP, very important person, right? These are your very important customers, and you can get them to come back again and again and again, right? You can do things like, you know, workshops. You can do brands. You could have your pet products rep come share and do an in-store sample program. Have them come talk about new foods. Have them come talk about toys. Do it on the busiest day of the week to generate lots of excitement and activity. So you can have a loyalty event that is only special. I have a client who it is, they have a non-pet store, but they bring customers in and they take them on trips because it's an experience. So, you know, I'm not sure you could take them to the park, I guess, but the idea is you want to have a club of tight-knit group of people who are really important to you and who support you again and again by doing that, a loyalty program. You are the experts, as I said earlier. Everything you do here makes you even more important to these customers. So think about a loyalty program. It is a great way of keeping people both in the store, keeping them loyal, but also they trust you more because they believe you really care about them. The expression I would use is, from a loyalty program perspective, think of the customer as a long-term relationship, not a transaction. So a transaction, I come in, I shop at your store, and I leave. A long-term relationship, you send me notes on WhatsApp, you text me, you email me, you have a loyalty program that keeps me, you know, coming back, spending money, and I get benefits from that. So you want to create a long-term relationship with your customers. And that will absolutely help drive pricing, what you're able to sell them, because they trust you. They absolutely trust you. So in terms of social media, I'm going to get the same response I'm sure I saw from some of you before, right? Moving forward, communicating, telling your customers what you carry, telling them how special the products that you carry are, communicating this via social media is absolutely going to be the future of your business. And there will be, trust me when I say this, in 2025, I use words like Instagram, TikTok, right? Facebook. In the next 2 years, 3 years, you know, I wasn't talking about TikTok 3 years ago because it didn't exist. It did exist, but it wasn't being used for retail, right? It wasn't being used it was a video watching site, right? Fun stories, people dancing. Remember? That's how TikTok started. And now people are selling products on TikTok. And there will be another social media site that will come and that will get everybody's attention. And it will be the next thing. But the way of communication, fast, quick, text-like communication, is here to stay. And the more competition that comes into any marketplace, the more special your business needs to be, right? And be present in order to make that happen. So, Instagram, TikTok, right? You can visually showcase all of your great products. When I talk about premium products for your store, that is a new category, right? You saw new brands in the showroom out there. So how do you tell people about that? You take videos, you show, somebody talking about the features and benefits. You ask customers to show their pets, cats or dogs or birds, or cats or dogs, origin we're talking about, Akana. But have them showcase the product at home, how the pets are reacting. Write reviews, right? You get a lot of good information that you can share. You can get an influencer who is very popular in this local trading area or in your local trading area to talk about these new brands that you have coming in or the premium brands that you carry, and that will have a lot of sway with your customers, right? You can do, just like they're live streaming this event, you can do virtual events. Teach your customers 24/7. I call it on-demand marketing. We're physically, thank you for being here, right? We're physically sitting here today. There are people who aren't in this room who are watching, at home. And there are also people who will watch this tomorrow or next week, right? It will always be in a library. Same thing for your customers. What can you do today that's live? What can you show to your customers that is still there next week? So think about virtual pet care, questions and answers, right? This trend on social media, ask me anything. You could turn it into, what do you need to know about your pets? What pet questions do you have? Right? And we give you answers. Here's some solutions. Here's how to solve these problems. It doesn't mean you're veterinarians, right? I'm not asking you to solve medical problems. But you know a lot about signs. Every one of us in this room, if your cat or dog is not eating or drinking or going to the bathroom, we all know inherently we have a problem, right? But then we also know there's things that aren't that serious, that we know there's solutions for. So you can create that kind of content, ongoing content, right? I use the user-generated content is when I'm saying to you, run a contest and have your customers or ask your customers to send pictures of their pets. That's called user-generated content. People that follow you on social media, when they send you pictures or videos, that's user-generated content. That's liquid gold. That is absolutely, for a retail business, the more people that you can get sending you content, that's absolutely your store in what I call real life. That's very, very powerful. Okay? So, social media key, lots of programs. Again, everything that I'm linking you to from the beginning is talking about a new mindset. So some of you may be doing this very well. Some of you may need to get there. But at least you have some tools to understand how to do that. Make sense? You all, thumbs up, you're ready to go? You got this? Well, I'm not done. I just wanted to make sure that you were paying attention. Okay, so we talked about influencers before. I just want you, this woman is an influencer. She is in China. But I put the number up here, but I took it down. Take a guess how much, she's been in 5 years, she's been doing business. Guess how much she's made from being an influencer in 5 years. I have it in reals. How much? How much? 100 million. That's very good, but no, not that much. 15 million in 5 years. I'm not suggesting that you can afford her, but brands like you, stores, hire her to talk about all things cat, right? You can do it on a much smaller scale and influence people to buy from you. So, when influencers are used, here's how potential customers respond for you. They searched for more information most of the time. They visited a website. They made a purchase online or went to your store, right? They followed your social media pages. They talked about it to someone. These are all ways that this one person who your customer follows on their own, talking about pets, cats, in a local market, here are some of the ways that could help your business. And all of those, mind you, this is a direct purchase, right? So I made a purchase. That's a direct purchase. But a lot of these other things will also lead to purchases. So this one concept of an influencer who talks about your store, who talks about the products that you carry, about why your business is so good, about why they love your business, right? Or love the products you carry. And people who pay attention to an influencer react. That's why it works. They have built a community. And in essence, what I'm really trying to get all of you to do is to become influencers with your customers. Very simply, that's a great analogy. You have the ability, with all of the things that we're talking about doing, to influence your customers to shop and to buy the products at your store. And the money that this person makes would be better in your store as revenue, right? Everything you can do, everything she can do for you, you can also do for yourself. You can also hire someone like her and do it. But you have to have social media in order to get an influencer, because that's where they are. They're on social media. They're on TikTok. They're on Instagram. They're on... Oops. Okay. So let's also talk about, I say the word digital marketing, right? We talked about, and digital meaning via social media ads. I know you're going to hear about that tomorrow as well. But subscription model, we talked about earlier, right? In terms of a way to communicate regular shopping experiences with your customer. When you have a premium food purchase and you can convince somebody to buy premium food, you want to do everything you can to have that be a regular occurrence. So you say to them, hey, sign up for the year-long program. One thing that stores do in the US, and some of you may do that here, if you buy 12 bags of food, the stores will give you the 13th bag free. Buy 12, and some do buy 11 and get 12 free. Essentially, it's a 10% discount one time. And if you think about how much a bag of premium food will cost, it is a very, very good way to keep somebody coming back again and again. So that would be a great item to think about for a subscription, right? If they buy 5, you don't give them anything. If they move away, right, that isn't. But your job is to communicate to them, oh, you're so close. You have 8 out of 12. You have 10 out of 12. Make sure to come back again and again. So that's a way to do loyalty program, right? Regular deliveries is really what we're trying to do. But targeted marketing with your social media, what is the neighborhood that somebody lives in that they would shop right at your location? You can be very specific about how you want people to shop with you, right? And who those customers are, right? And also, online exclusive offers. It could be an exclusive offer to come in. So I understand many of you have physical locations that don't use quite as much online, but you can still draw people to your physical location, and should, to keep them coming back. Offer them something special, right? Many times, a great way to do that in the US on Tuesdays, which is typically a very slow shopping day for stores in the United States, right? Monday, I needed something. Tuesday, I'm done shopping. So many pet stores will offer a small discount or gift to senior citizens, people over 60, 65 years old. They call it Senior Day on Tuesdays because it's a slow day, so they will try and drive traffic in. Another thing with their loyalty program, same thing. Tuesday is a slow day, so we will offer you 2 times the points. If you spend money on Tuesdays, you get twice as many points. Okay? So it's about specific offers. It's about a targeted offer, getting people to come back again and again. You don't realize, I know you just think it's your job, and that's what you do, is that you work in the pet business, but I promise you, you are very special to these people. Many times, if you were on social media a lot, you will see at trade shows, and frankly, you'll see Matt and I, we have been taking lots of videos of the experiences we're having here, of the brands that we're seeing here, and we are sharing that with our social media content, and they are fascinated because we are in another country, we are seeing, different things. It is the same thing for you. All the new things that you could show your customers and share, right? You're at the Pet Products Trading Show. You could be taking pictures of the new brands, talking to the reps. You're meeting people who own these companies, right? The brand owners, the presidents. You're meeting important people. That's a great thing you could share with your community. Because what it says is you are experts. You are getting lots of knowledge and information. Many times, please don't take my picture, but many times people in the audiences where I speak will take pictures and will post that on their social media to say, look what I'm learning about pet products for you. That helps create your expert status. All of these things lead to you being that influencer we talked about, and will help you be able to sell premium products, will help you be able to gain trust for your customers. Okay? Other things to think about, right? We talked about who your customers are and making sure that you communicate to them. In order for all of you to do that, you must train the people that work with you. And so anytime you can teach your employees about the products that you carry, about how everything we talked about here, you should share with them. How do you sell premium products? How do you create a community, right? That is training your team. Teaching your team some of those statistics that I showed at the beginning, talking about the size of the pet market, talking about the trends on what customers are going to want to see in the store. All of those tools that you share with your employees will give them the ability to talk to customers with a little bit more knowledge. So train your team to help drive premium sales and products, right? Whether that's conduct workshops, have your, again, pet products rep come in, do some training with your team, even if it's virtual, even if it's online, do a live or an in-store. Market trends we talked about. Role playing. I understand that might seem like acting, but when your customer comes in and is used to paying 50 reals for something and you want them to pay 100, you have to, do you know the word objection? You have to overcome an objection. I don't want to spend that much money, so you have to tell them why it's worth it, right? All those things that we talked about, the value, the health benefits of it, right? So when you do role play, when I go to Gonçalo and say, you're the customer, I don't want to pay $100, I want to pay 50, right? My job is to now say, but your cat is like your baby, right? You want to make sure that you take care of your baby, and this has the ingredients, these are the, right? That's role playing. That helps teach somebody that you can spend more than 50. You should spend more than 50. You should spend the 100, right? So we talked about nutritional training, right? And if you get a lot of turnover, so if you have a lot of employees and you have somebody that's very good at training, develop a mentorship program. Have them shadow, have people listen to them, understand why they're so good with customers. Okay? Couple final slides. Part of selling premium products, right? What does your store look like? How are things organized in your store? Where do you create a special space? We talked about that earlier, right? Modern store layouts are typically premium product related, right? Interactive product displays. We talked about QR, education, displays. You get great displays from, pet products. Use those to showcase product. Create themed sections. So I saw in some of the stores today that all the cat products, typically merchandising in North America is cat food is together, then cat toys. And here it was food with maybe cats and dogs mixed in, right? So how you display these premium products will have a big impact on how you sell them. So maybe they need special space. Maybe they need, a unique location in the store so that you can give them a very special look. Maybe they're on tables or in fixtures in the front. Maybe, you try it and it's brand new, so you introduce it in a big way, and then you move it to a special location. Here's some other tools. I saw, just think about how displays look. Like I saw, and it's very clear, you're not only ones, but I saw lots of collars and leashes just on a peg, right? Versus something like this, that for a small space location is unique, kind of fun, right? Again, those look like dog houses, right? So could you put in, cats there? This one is a little bit more clean, right? A little bit less product. And then all of the stores, and I don't know if this is not allowed, so bear with me, but see how that makes a fun difference? The window displays. You could use your windows to sell. And again, showcase brands that you're carrying. Okay? We talked about future expansion earlier on, but just keep an open mind to new products. So you're here, you're seeing new products, you're understanding where the customers are going. You may not need a bunch of new products now that are related to pet wearables and technology. But if your customers are seeing them online, you should know about them. Because then your customers may say, we want them. All right? And again, I know you're here at a trade show, but maybe you need to collaborate with other pet partners, veterinarians, other pet businesses, industry associations. Certainly you have a partner here with pet products, right? Who else should you partner with? Local rescues, pet shelters. Anywhere that you can put your business into the community will help you do more business and get your name out there, but will also give you expert status, good community partners, if you will. All right? And I leave you with this, right? We're not here yet, limousines, right? Dogs in limousines. But if you could think about that humanization touch, and the dog that had the paws on the counter, and this sitting in the back of a limousine, that's how special your customers are feeling about their pets. How does your business make this person that's buying goods for this pet feel special? That's the whole, if you will, game right there. Making them feel special, right? Use the tools to educate your team, use the information, put new space, right? Create customers. Education is going to be your key here. And education, however you communicate that, get that word out there to people. That will help you make the first step, right? And it's all about the next evolving customer, right? Everybody, since I've been in the country, everybody just keeps talking about the growth, right? And the 2030 and all the projects that you're working on and all the new initiatives and all the growth. It is absolutely the same for this pet industry, which will continue to grow. And if you will, I think the opportunity is for all of you to find the space for your store and to teach your customers all the great things that you have. Sound like a plan? You got it? I saw some more head shaking this time. I think it's good. This one made, all right? So, I'm going to be around. I know it's late. Sorry, we ran late. It wasn't all me, I swear. But I'm going to be here tomorrow as well. So please, if you have any questions or I can help you with anything, please feel free to get a hold of me. And thank you for being here. Good luck to you all. All right. Oh, I'm still mic'd up here. What else do you want to talk about?